Um, Wednesday night, coming to you guys with the pink pill message of the week or the day, depending on how I'm feeling. Um, I wanted to talk with you guys today about the things that Pickmeeshas and Divestors have in common. Something that was swirling around in my brain, and I wanted to share that with the YouTube family or share that abroad on Facebook. So give me a quick second. I'm going to share this video on Facebook, and then I will be right back with you. Bear with me one brief moment. Hold on one second. One moment. All right. Yes, I do these pretty late because, unlike the rich folks on YouTube, I actually have a job. So I have to work during the day. I have not came across my provider man yet. So there you have it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. All right. So, you know, so first and foremost, this is what I wanted to do. Maybe some of you don't know. This would be strange if you don't. You kind of got to have your head under a rock to not know it. But a pick-meesha is basically a woman who betrays herself for the love of a man. She will devalue her voice. She will let her boundaries go. She will belittle herself. She will belittle other women. She mostly will throw other women under the bus. But the colloquial term comes from when you're in the class and you're like, oh, pick me, pick me, pick me. And it's like this anxiety slash excitement slash need to be validated. That's generally what a pick me is. Then you have your divestors. Now, this is kind of a recent phenomenon. This kind of came after Black Manosphere had its peak in about 2021. And the fallout of that were women who kind of got in their head like, listen, if we're so large and we've hit the wall and we're no longer desirable and we're not your cup of tea, if we're not being who and what you think we should be, then as women, we're going to divest. We're going to take a step back. We're not going to be further putting ourselves in the position to be rejected by you. Just because men will take your body doesn't mean they're going to take your mind, doesn't mean they're going to care about you, doesn't mean they're going to care about your soul, which is really a lot of women have trouble with accepting this, that men can take your body, they can take your servitude and still not really like you or still not really want you. So that is one of the difficulties that a lot of women face because, they're used to being in these relationships where the love is really pretty much counterfeit like a $3 bill, and that's all they know. So divestors are women who have listened to, absorbed that red pill rhetoric, and it has not pushed them further down the trajectory of being a fit, feminine, friendly, and submissive woman. If we're going to be fit, feminine, and friendly, we absolutely are not going to do it for guys who we got to go 50-50 with. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Women are not going to go and do all that to be with a 50-50 guy. That's just not what this is. We're not going to do that to qualify for a 50-50 guy. It doesn't make sense, right? So divestors are women who've said, you know what? F this. I'm done. I'm through with it. The end. Right. So um, there is something that Pickmeeshas and divestors have in common. And what it is their perception of the Black man. They have a perception of the Black man that they share. And so I'm not going to be on here too long. I just simply want to kind of give you guys an idea of it. So I don't want to speak too boldly or out of turn, right? But there's something that I noticed, right? My last live stream, I spoke about Ayanna Vanzant, and I spoke about how she essentially kind of coins the title of a pick me, a mammy of sorts. I thought her video when she said that I would date a bus driver was simply embarrassing. And I had a conversation with some ladies. Shout out to Moon Bassett. I had a conversation with some ladies in my my chat group, and they put me up on game about what happened with Ayanna Vanzant and her husband. And essentially, what happened is her husband. She was on the Oprah show. She was gaining notoriety. She was gaining fame, and her husband was always there, kind of sitting front row and center. He looked like Supreme Ramik. You know what I'm saying? He had on the dashikis and the kufis, and he was real. He had the hotep energy. You feel me? And what she did, Ayanna Vanzant, is turn to the audience, I guess in her excitement, and said to them, well, this man, he ain't got nothing. Well, let me not misquote. I want to quote correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up really quickly. Hang on just 1 second. Let me get to Google so I can read exactly what Ayanna Vanzant said. Eventually, I'm going to get all fancy with all of the technology and the streaming and the videos and pulling them up, but just not yet. Also, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this page, but while I still have this page, I'm going to, do a little bit of experimenting with the with the streaming just to see how it goes. Okay. So, I'm going to read exactly what it says here in this article. So it says, during an Oprah show taping, Ayanna says she made an off the cuff comment that seriously damaged her relationship. After a man in the audience said, women don't choose a man because he looks good. He's got to have some money because if not, he's going to be by himself. Ayanna responded and said, my man ain't got no money. I love him and he ain't got no money. And from my understanding, it looks like they said that man whole energy just dropped and his soul got up and walked out of the Oprah studio. And Ayanna says her husband at the time swears the remark didn't bother him, but she knows it was the nail in the coffin of their relationship. Damn. The nail in the coffin of their relationship? Wow. Okay. After the show, Ayanna says other marital problems came into focus. I'm speaking about my experience, not about him at all, she says, but my experience was that he became very depressed. So, as she became more famous, she became more vocal about who she is and what she has, right? But here's the funny part about her becoming famous and becoming more vocal about who she is and what she has. She absolutely, her and her man began to experience like a disconnect. And she lost the man who she felt like she really loved. Why is this important? Because in her losing a man that she felt like she really loved and she felt like was unique and special to her, that she felt like was a great man for her, which she later remarks that this man was a man who simply just kind of healed her daddy issues, um, or helped her to face her daddy issues. Um, she felt like it was her mouth that ran her man off. It was her mouth that ran her man off. And I'm going to tell you something. That may be true, but men of lower means are more fragile and they need more coddling than men of higher means in terms of especially if you are successful beyond his wildest dreams. It's like, okay, you could be a lawyer, that's accessible. You could be a police officer, that's accessible. But to be a television star, a actor, a motivational speaker, a world-renowned household name, and his name was Charles Vanzant. But what I wanted to pull from this, and this whole entire thing is that she thought it was her mouth that made her lose her man. Now you notice she's walking around trying to tone police all Black women of means, to tell them you're gonna crush the Black man if you don't acknowledge his intangible attributes and acknowledge him as someone who is worthy and deserving of love in spite of where he stands financially. So that's why she's going around trying to humble Black women. Is really projection, right? But listen to what Ayanna Vanzant is saying. And let me take a quick drink because I'm becoming parched. Listen to what Ayanna Vanzant is really, really saying here, people. Because a lot of people don't read between the lines. It's one thing to accept that another person is content in their financial status. Now, this is no hit against Black men, but I want y'all to hear me here. But if you listen to her whole rambling statement on that cringy ass coddling video that she did, I want you to understand. I want you to really let it soak into your mind that she listed all her attributes. I'm legally trained. I'm a world-renowned author. I make a lot of money. I'm this, I'm that, I'm all of the above. But you, Black man, you could be a bus driver. You could just make a little bit of money. You don't have to really reach any pinnacles in life. That's okay, as long as you're a man of character. Anytime you saying somebody need to be a man of character, that's something that you learn in the kindergarten. You know, when you learn sharing is caring, when you sing Barney songs. Back then, I don't know, what was they singing, Schoolhouse Rock? Because she is a part of the boomer generation, I believe. So learning character is something that a child learns. You're telling these men that it's okay for them to have a specific station in life because you expect nothing more of them. You expect nothing more of them. For me, and to me, and what I say to Black men is, you should be insulted. You should totally feel insulted by such a low expectation of you as men. She literally is telling you guys, it's highly unlikely you'll meet the pinnacles that I meet. So why should I count you out? I'll give you a chance. While y'all mad at Ebony K, who said y'all can meet these pinnacles, y'all can be what y'all want to be. I'm not counting you out, but I'm not accepting you when you haven't even met the potential that you see in yourself. I'm not accepting you at your lowest. And there's so many stories that I can go on about accepting men at their lowest and how stupid that is, and how you will be dragged because of that. This whole idea of struggle love and it leading you down a road where you're going to have all these accolades and you're going to finally win. I mean, people bring up stuff like Samuel L. Jackson having been abusing narcotics and his wife still staying with him. What? When I hear people bring up these arguments, I'm saying, what? You guys really think that a man being accepted in such a state by a woman is a flex? She put her life at risk. She put her mental health at risk. You guys are always praising women who's willing to suffer to stay tethered to a man. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. And I think that antiquated concept and mindset needs to be challenged within our community. Take the pink pill, ladies. Think about what's being said here. She literally is saying to Black men, it's okay for you to be mediocre because I don't expect much more of you. So I'm going to change the criteria that other men have. I'm going to give you a special needs criteria. I'm going to give you an IEP criteria. I'm going to give you a Gerber criteria, right? And Black men are applauding her. Black men are big upping her, high five. You're not insulted. You don't feel disrespected. The math isn't mathing. But she is not denying that she thinks less of Black men. And you will find that to be true with other Pickmeeshas, other mammy types. They just don't have a high bar for the men. And when I say high bar, I mean there is no bar. There is no criteria. They just have to show up. They just have to participate. They just have to be present and available. And that is enough. And the women of the younger generation are saying, no, that's not enough. You can't just be a man and that be enough. You can't just participate the bare minimums in society and that be enough. We no longer want to live in the awning of a state of survival and depression. And you shouldn't either. And there's nothing wrong with telling you that. But I think that our community has tried so hard to adapt to the social ills that we have experienced that we've called a lot of audibles. And it's okay to call some audibles to allow people to regroup. But the regrouping has been going on for about 4 decades. Now it's time to transition into expectations. You can't have 4 or 5 decades of mediocrity. Now, what I want you to grab from this is the Pickmeesha she does not think highly of men. She doesn't, and the Black woman Pickmeesha severely does not think highly of Black men. She doesn't. The divester, the woman who says, you know what? I'm not getting into any relationships with these guys because of ABC, XYZ. I don't think that they're very mature. I don't think that they're very stable. I don't think that they're emotionally hinged, and they have all these demands. They have so many more demands than what they actually bring to the table. I don't want to deal with a guy like that. That's it. Done. Period. Don't care. She outwardly thinks less of the Black man, and the Black man is aware of it because of her not investing in him anymore. But the pick-me does too. The pick-me doesn't think highly of the Black man. No. Please don't get it twisted. You're confused if you think so. The Pickmeesha just had a different reaction to it. Instead of saying, oh, well, I don't think highly of you. Oh, well, I have a low opinion of you, but I'm still going to see you. I'm still going to date you. In so many ways, it's saying I have a low opinion of you. And in some ways, I have a low opinion of myself because I need to be connected to you. And I think either way, it's not healthy. I think that the great spiritual counselor is projecting. And many other women that came before her is projecting. Yes, we've had to adapt to such terrible social ills and social issues. But one of the things that they both have in common is they don't think very highly of Black men. And if I was a Black man, I would not be gratified by the actions and the behavior of a Pickmeesha. They don't believe that you can be the CEO of a company. They don't believe that you can be in charge of government and supply chain. They don't believe that you can break free from the dominant culture. They don't believe that you are someone who can be autonomous and still win in life and reach the pinnacles that we've seen Black women in celebrity spaces reach, unless you're talking about someone playing football, basketball, or even you got actors who Black male actors, of course. But overall, it's not gratifying. And so I brought this video out today to make people think about something really important. Pick-mes are not the answer. The men think because somebody is selling you shit and sprinkling a little sugar on top of it, that you are being loved. That is not what being loved is. Just because when someone enables you in your mediocrity, when someone enables you in your lowest possible self, I want you to understand what that really means. It is not an act of love or an act of service, it's an act of control. It is not an act of love or it's an act of service, it's an act of control. And what they are essentially saying is, you can stay small because I don't expect much of you. I'm going to be big and then I'm going to create an illusion for you. And if that's good enough for some of you fellas, then so be it. But I really want you to take the time to think and contemplate what's really being said here. Because if they're telling you that this is the best that you can do and that you literally can't have better in life without their contribution, that is an insult to you. Ladies, a lot of you need to take the pink pill and start realizing that we do not have to, one, remain loyal, race loyal. Okay? If you're going to get fit, feminine, and friendly, you may as well level up and go higher up. Okay? If you're going to do all that work, why get with Daquan, who you already had a relationship with prior to? Why get with Daquan, you know? Get someone who's actually going to improve the quality of your life so you can stay fit, feminine, and friendly. Because maybe he'll take care of the gym membership, or he won't bring so much added stress to your life because you won't have to be worried about working like 40 to 60 hours per week. You can choose whether or not you want to work, you know? So there's so many different constructs that we need to break free from. And I'm going to have pink pill content for years to come. I'm going to get better with my streaming. I might change up the channel. So just stick around, like, share, comment, subscribe, stick around. If I make a move, I'm going to let you guys know. But we really need to think about this. Pickmeeshas do not think very highly of men. Black women Pickmeeshas are the worst. They don't think highly of Black men at all. They're just simply saying your mediocrity is okay because I don't expect much more of you. And if the fellas are cool with that, right on, brother. Power to the people. Go ahead with your bad self. This is your girl, Twilight Goldilocks. I'm signing off. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Make sure you post, comment, like, share. Think about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.